I've been a barber for just over 25 years now. Just left school on the last day of job hunting and found a job, and basically I loved it. On a busy day you probably do 25 haircuts. You know, on a slow day probably just over half that. Popular haircuts, it varies from age. Obviously from teenagers you probably get the more footballer haircuts, Gareth Bale, things like that. The older gents, it's basically the standard traditional short bracket sides. We get a lot of the rugby guys coming in, Ulster rugby, Irish rugby players, Tommy Bowe, Stephen Ferris. Still ongoing, there's quite a few shops opening up, but they're trying to keep it up to date, more modern. It doesn't really work for me. I try to keep it what you see in this shop. Very old, very traditional, basically. Everything that's just above the shoulders, the head, the haircut, the shave. That's basically all I'm interested in.